Well, as if hangings, controlling drunks, vagrants, murderers, and in general keeping the peace wasn't enough, Sheriff George Ruffner wasn't opposed to engaging in an occasional game of chance with his friends. Ruffner owned a local livery stable, and one of his regulars owed him quite a large sum of money. And one day, an opportunity to collect this debt presented itself.
Sheriff George Ruffner was my great-uncle, and he actually came to the Arizona Territory in the early 1880s at the behest of his uncle, Morris Andrew Ruffner, who had the first copper claims. The billion-dollar copper camp of Jerome was later created. He is best known for, while he was sheriff of Yavapai County, actually procuring a business in a rather odd way. He had the Ruffner Plaza Stables, which is just half a block from the Palace Saloon on Whiskey Row. And at the Ruffner Plaza Stables, the local mortician, Frank Nevins, had boarded his horses and had stored both the hearse and something called a meat wagon. I don't know what that is, and I don't really want to know, but I can imagine. At any rate, Frank Nevins owed George quite a large livery bill, and they decided one night here in the Palace Saloon to play the business, Frank Nevins' undertaking parlor, against the long outstanding bill owed to Sheriff George Ruffner.
The two men drew quite a crowd. They wanted to see who would win this hand. But instead of a long, drawn-out game of poker, they chose to see who would turn over the high card. Frank was first. Then George Ruffner. Well, the sheriff was the winner. Well, George got his bill paid, ended up with a brand new business. But there was an issue that he had to deal with.
This immediately occurred to him that it could be a slight conflict of interest, because as sheriff of the county, he was the only man who could legally hang people. And he thought it might look a little, dicey for him to legally hang someone and then actually haul the remains over to the funeral home, which he also owned. So he gave the business to his younger brother, my grandfather, Lester Lee Ruffner. And my grandfather, who we called Pops, ran the business for years. When my dad came back from World War II, he also went into the family business, and it is still in business today at the corner of Cortez and Carlton Streets. And there's a little sign in an oval at the bottom of the sign that says Arizona Ruffner Wakeland Funeral Home that says since 1903. And in fact, that was the year that the transfer of business was made from Frank Nevins to Sheriff Ruffner.